Well, to list Chris Alford's achievements in harness racing, you would probably need the length of the Menangle Straight as far as paper is concerned, and then a pen with a refill or two. He added to his wonderful list of achievements just a week ago with the Gordon Rothacker Medal. I caught up with Chris to reflect on what's been a stellar career. Well, Chris, great to catch up with you, and congratulations on yet another run of the Gordon Rothacker Medal. A great name to be associated with, a great family to be associated with.
Yeah, thanks, Mick. For sure, Gordon was, what everyone aspired to be. He was a great trainer, much respected.
Chris, you commenced your career in 1984-85 season under the watchful eye of your mentor, your dad, Barry, a skillful trainer in his own right and driver, but a wonderful mentor.
Yeah, he was. He was pretty hard, I would say, but I think that's the only way you learn when you're young to, if you make mistakes, be told, and don't get much praise when you get it right.
That's one thing you've picked up from your dad, Chris, throughout your career. You've always tried to mentor those next generations coming through.
Yeah, it's always good to see young kids coming through, and any help or advice I can give them, I'm very happy to try and help, and there's a lot of good ones coming through, that's right.
Chris, what was the most important lesson you learned from your dad?
Probably to work hard and always respect the people that put you on the horses that you got to drive, whether they be good ones or bad ones. They still, entrust you to look after their animal.
Chris, just a tick under 40 years as one of our top trainer drivers. What's the secret of longevity?
No, I just like winning races and going out there and competing, I think.
Those horses that you had with your dad, probably the latter stage of his career was Mont Denver Gold.
Yeah, he was a great little horse. I think we got him as about a C2 sort of class in the old, and within 6 months he'd won the Hunter Cup. So he did a great job, went on to run second in an Inter and third in a Vic Cup and races like that. And yeah, that was right when Dad was getting pretty crook, so it was probably the last decent horse that he had much to do with.
Chris, you're nearing 8,000 winners. Unbelievable career.
Yeah, no, I've been very lucky. Like I said, driven some great horses, some great trainers and some average horses, but you just try and do your best on every one of them and get them to the line if you can.
Chris, those trainers, you've had wonderful partnerships with Noel Alexander and Jane Davies, Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin, more recently David Aiken, Brent Liddy. You've had a wonderful association with some wonderful people.
Yeah, well, Noel and Jane were probably the first big stable. They weren't so big when we first started together, and we used to take 4 or 5 to Traralgon and places like that and maybe get a place and a winner here and there, but the team really built up, and when Golden Rain and horses like that come along, it just boomed, and for the next 10 or so years they were right at the top of the tree.
Yeah, let's talk about Golden Rain, 1995, the Inter-Dominion in New Zealand. What a wonderful achievement.
Yeah, it was. It was, a race you look back now, and he drew outside the gate. He was last with a lap to go, and he rounded them all up and beat him. You don't see that very often now. And like I said to someone, I think it's 30 years ago nearly, there were 6 horses that had won $1 million. So there was just a field of champions.
What made him so special, Chris?
He just had an amazing will to win. He just would never lay down. No matter how bad I drove him, he'd lift.
And when you speak of all those trainers you've been associated with, 16 Victorian premierships, 15 Australian driving titles and 131 Group 1s. Is there anything that stands out in your mind, Chris, as being one that you're always going to reflect on, even in retirement?
One winner? There's so many, Inter-Dominions are great, and all Grand Circuit races and races like that. But I think the one was probably Mont Denver Gold in the Hunter Cup with Dad when he was sort of getting near the end. So always remember that one.
Of course, you had a wonderful association with a mare called Tailor Made Lombo.
Yeah, she was brilliant. I think she won 49 races. I think I must have been having a bit of a blue or something with Noel when she was a 2-year-old, and he made me drive another one, and she won the gold and a few other races with John Caldo. But then we must have made up, and I drove her from then on. And she won, three. I think she won 2 Tassie Chasing Championships, the Queensland Championship. She beat our Savans for Courage Under Fire. All great horses that you don't see, mares doing nowadays.
Another special medal you won, Chris, back in 2005, the Midnight Medal.
Yeah, that was a good thing to win. It probably didn't last like it should have. I'm not sure what happened. I think it was run by Trotting Weekly, and something went wrong and they shut that down, so the medal seemed to stop. But it was great to win that. I was always up there somewhere, but to finally to achieve it, and think back how great Vinny was. I was only just starting off when he was at his peak, and I was I think it might have been my first or second drive at the trials, and he come sidling up beside me on the track and said, "Hey, little fella, do you want me to put the seat forward for you so you can reach the pedals?" And I'll always remember that.
He was a great character off the track. We should remember that he's brilliant on the track, but off the track he was a character. And probably, Chris, we need someone like him now.
We sure do. He was flamboyant and he lit up the crowd. And I was probably age generation below him, so I didn't get to go out on the party circuit and that with him every Saturday night after Moonee Valley. But the stories I hear, he was pretty wild.
Chris, 2018, the Australian harness racing living legend. That was certainly a great honour.
Yeah, I've just been fortunate to get these awards entrusted to me, and like I said, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have so many great people behind me and great horses.
Chris, representing your country on home soil in 2015 in the World Drivers' Championship, what an honour that was, and what a wonderful selection of drivers, class acts both on the track and off.
Yeah, that was something special to meet, guys from all over the world. Still, keep in touch with Timmy Tetrick and the guys from France and that. And, it's wonderful. And I did actually get to go on another one to Germany back in about 97 and had I think 3 winners over there. So that was just as good. And I still keep in contact with a few of those guys too.
Chris, apart from your work on the track, you're also a tireless worker off the track for charity.
Yeah, well, a lot of that is down to Alison with her awareness for NF, which our daughter has, just a genetic condition, and raise awareness for that, which has gone great right through. And we had a few charity football matches and things like that, and it all worked out really well. And I like doing the Pacing for Pink thing that we've got on now, and the ovarian cancer ones. Sometimes I get to honour to wear those colours.
Chris, isn't it wonderful the way harness racing gets involved in charities?
It is. There's a lot of unfortunate people out there, and harness racing people aren't the richest in the world, but they're always first to put their hand in their pocket for a good cause. I
was just about to lead you into, Alison, all the partnerships you've had in harness racing, Chris. This is the most cherished with your wife, and also partner as far as the training is concerned. What a wonderful person she has been in your career.
Yeah, for sure. She, keeps everything going at home, not just the horses. That she does the diary and works out what the horses are doing every day. Josh and I just turn up and go by that. And she's got to look after the kids. She's on committees with the cricket and the footy, and loves all that stuff with the kids. So she's always busy and has to have me dinner when I get home, which is always good.
Chris, you mentioned Katie, because your son Sam now, are they interested in following in Mum and Dad's footsteps?
Not so much. Sam, cricket and football, and Katie loves her ponies. She's got 2 ponies at home that she rides, and she's trying to get one that she just bought all done up and ready to sell it on and move on to a bigger horse. And Maggie, my other daughter, she's a vet nurse, so she's sort of only into small animals, but still vet's a vet, isn't it?
Chris, if Sam continues on the path of his talented father and makes it as a cricketer, there's always a spot there as a manager.
Yeah, well, that's true. He loves his cricket and football, so hopefully he's good enough at one of them to give it a go. And if he wants to come over and have a crack at the trots, I'll be all for it. But if he doesn't, I won't be sad.
131 Group 1s, you're in search of another Group 1 success at Club Menangle tonight, Chris. Thank you for your time, and once again, congratulations on what's been a marvellous career, and there's plenty more to come.
Thanks very much for having me.